Come set your rule and reign in our hearts again. Increase in us, we pray. Unveil while we're made. Come set our hearts ablaze with hope, like wildfire in our very souls. Holy Spirit, come invade us now. We are your church. We need your power in us. We seek your kingdom first. We hunger and we thirst. Refuse to waste our lives. You're our joy and pride. To see the captives' hearts released, the hurt, the sick, the poor in peace. We lay down our lives for heaven's cause. We are your church. We pray without respect. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness stay. Show your mighty hand. Fill our streets and land. Set your church on fire. Win this nation back. Change the atmosphere. Build your kingdom here. We pray. Unleash your kingdom's power, reaching the near and far. No force of hell can stop your beauty changing hearts. You made us for much more than this. Awake the kingdom seed in us. Fill us with the strength and love of Christ. We are your church. We are the word on earth. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Heal our streets and land. Set your church on fire. Win this nation back. Change the atmosphere. Build your kingdom here. We pray. Build your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Fill our streets and land. Set your church on fire. Win this nation back. Change the atmosphere. Build your kingdom here. We pray.
Hi there, my name's Adrian
And my name's Chris.
and we're the Salvation Army ministers at Huddersfield, and we'd like to welcome you into our home this morning as we come into yours.
And we thank Unshakable for that fantastic start to our worship this morning.
Now today is a day that many celebrate as Father's Day. However, whatever your family unit looks like, it's important to say thank you for those who care for us.
Now, families come in all shapes and
They
sizes,
do.
as you can see from the pictures on the screen. But I wonder, if I asked you to describe in a few words your family, what you would say. Have a look at the quotes as we read them. I'm rich. I have something that you can't buy. Family.
family. A little bit of crazy, a little bit of loud, a whole lot of love.
As far as everyone knows, we're a nice, normal family.
Our family is just the right mix of chaos and love.
Now, during this period of COVID-19, families have had all different experiences. And at the Salvation Army in Huddersfield, we have a number of small businesses in the surrounding area. So we asked 3 men who own their own businesses and are well known to us about the effect of COVID-19 on their work and their families.
So first of all, we're going to hear from Reg, who runs a local cafe, and with his partner has 4 children.
And it has to be said, makes the best flat whites around.
Secondly, Keith, who has a large family and runs a great music shop.
Yes, which Adrian often frequents to admire the guitars under strict instructions not to buy any.
Absolutely. And lastly, Tim, a local tree surgeon.
Tim's favourite memory of us is when he had to use his Land Rover and winch to pull our car out of a ditch which I was driving after I missed the sign on the road indicating a sharp bend. According to Tim, that is now affectionately referred to as Chris's Corner.
Hi, I'm just speaking to Reg, who is a local restaurateur, owner of a fantastic coffee shop and a dad to a number of children. So, Reg, how have you found the juggling, being a dad during this COVID crisis and also trying to run a business?
Yeah, the first when COVID come to England and we started lockdown, and I don't think I did realize how big it was, and I was happy to spend a bit time with my family and kids, and luckily the weather was good on that time, and we played and we spent decent time with the kids. But afterwards, and when this was going on, and we realized how serious it was, and then we started taking very seriously. But business-wise, we had some help from government, and we could survive a couple of months without any business. Afterwards, then obviously we had to do something about it. And I had to come and open my cafe 6 weeks after the lockdown for takeaways only. So it's okay, not too bad. But for kids' education, it's not very good. They haven't, like one of my daughter first year at school, which is reception, and she's not learned much at all. We try to help from home, and we spend a lot of money buying the materials and the toys, educational, which everything was doubled, by the way. Obviously we did our best, so that she's not going to be behind her age groups, but there's only so much you can do at home. That's
The biggest challenge? What do you think the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge, obviously financial, and staying at home and not going outside, and if it was raining, and literally inside the house, and trying to keep kids away from technology. That was the hardest bit,
Have there been any upsides, any positives coming out of
positives?
this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they actually recognize me as a dad, because I used to work 24/7. So now, so every time I go home, they were ready to go to bed. In the morning, I used to leave home, and they were still in bed. So we not, even though now cafe is open, but I don't open early, and I close very early as well, short hours. Which I do spend decent time with the kids.
That's a significant
Yes, yeah.
development,
so
isn't it? If you
that's
like,
it.
positive.
Yeah, positive, positive sides of it. Yeah, yeah. So
That's great.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Reg,
You're
for
welcome.
your
Yeah.
for your comments, Busher. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm speaking to Keith, who is a successful music shop owner in our local area. And Keith, how have you found the COVID lockdown in terms of your business and home life?
In terms of business, it's been quite challenging because we've been closed all this time with not an awful lot of income. We have kept selling things on the internet, so it's kept the shop ticking over. We were lucky that we got one of the small business grants as well, which enabled me to pay all my existing bills. So now we've reopened, we're on a level footing, which is quite nice. But we are behindhand on our yearly projection turnover. And of course I've had to stop my wage coming out of the till because we weren't taking that much money to afford it.
So it's always a balance, isn't it, of kind of, making sure there's enough money coming in.
As long as I can pay my rent, which I have done,
Yes.
I've paid my electric and I've paid the water bills, I've paid my insurance, so I owe nothing.
Well, that's,
So I've opened up on a clear footing, so I'm quite lucky that way. So a lot of people can't do that. And I think that's through age and maturity, knowing how to budget in life.
Yes, so you've actually, that's a big one, isn't it?
Mm.
And you were saying earlier about the family. Just say a little bit about that, because
Well,
obviously you've got family spread out.
Family's been hard. Being at home's been good, because me being me and my wife being my wife has a list of things on that 2 rolls of wallpaper. So I've managed to get most of them done. Lounge is decorated, conservatory is decorated, the decking's been oiled, the house is looking good. She's now on a spending spree to get a new carpet and a new settee, which has really upset me, really. But anyway, that's another story, isn't it? The family's spread around. The daughter lives in Buxton, the youngest son lives in Derby, and the other son lives in Skelmanthorpe, which we haven't seen for a couple of months. The youngest daughter's having a baby in 3 weeks and was panicking that mum might not be around through lockdown to be there at a time of need.
So the separation.
Separation's been hard. Mum's still alive, she lives in Dewsbury,
Yeah,
so I've still had to do the supermarket trip
very good.
and empty the bins and do the things around the house for her.
Yeah.
So I managed to get everything done, which has been a blessing in a way, but it was going to a stage where I need to reopen my shop to start earning money to pay my bills, other than drawing on savings.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So overall, the whole experience as a dad and granddad soon, and how would you say it's been?
It's quite hard to see your grandkids without giving them a cuddle. It's quite hard to go into anybody's house and social distance, and then when you go to the toilet, they give you some baby wipes to wipe the toilet down with. Thinking I'm going to splash everywhere. No, I'll sit down, don't worry. I'm not going to make a mess. But these things do, don't they?
Yeah. The new normal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Well,
the social distancing is quite hard for a family man.
Yes.
In the shop I don't mind, I don't need to shake your hand. Only when you pay me, it's a different matter then. But other than that, you don't need to with your customers, it's just with close family, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, Keith. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
That's
Andrew.
very helpful. So this afternoon I'm speaking to Tim, who's a local horticulturist in the community. Tim, how have you found the COVID-19 pandemic, the sort of lockdown particularly? How has it affected you?
Well, I think I've been quite lucky. It's not really affected me myself massively. You see the effect with everyone else. I've managed to keep going. I've barely had a day off, but I work out in the sticks on my own. I've got a yard I can work in. I've been really lucky. The thing with COVID-19 is it seems to just take people randomly. It's not. There seems to be no selective pattern. You can't. There's no escape from it. If it's getting you, it's going to get you. So it's very sad. All the people that have got it, all the people that are hiding from it. People are scared. It's pretty awful situation.
I remember you saying, Tim, that there's a bit of a silver lining for some people, though, that you've observed. Go on, you want to tell me a bit about that?
the quite a few people I've talked with are enjoying it. Not enjoying it because of the situation, but they've been given a break from the normal routine of life where they can't get out of the work routine, and they've just been stuck at home. And you know, it's the first instalment of retirement for many people. They've never had the time off. Right from leaving school, they've been working hard all their life, and it's a little reprieve like this is not a bad thing.
Yeah. And the future, how do you see the future, the new normal as will be?
I think there's going to be a lot more people doing a bit less work and enjoying having a bit of a break here and there, having more time to themselves and the family, rather than just that heavy 12 to 18 hours a day work that a lot of people have got stuck in.
Time for family being important.
Yeah. So it's definitely good to spend more time with your family, even if they can be a bit annoying. But yeah, it's you know, families are meant to grow together rather than people being stuck at, you know, the two parents being at work all day every day. It's I think it's better to have a bit more time together. So yeah, for me, more positives than negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tim. That's great. Thanks for sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
Well, children, a lot of families have children, so we're going to give you something to do. Now, you might laugh at this, but this is my attempt to show you what today's craft is going to be.
Very
So,
good.
if you hold that, Adrian,
That's very good.
don't be sarcastic, please. Right, so you get a piece of paper
It's as
like
slim as
this. They are very slim, aren't they? So just get an A4 piece of paper like this. You fold it like a concertina. So you've gone that way, you see that? And then you go back, sort of almost back on yourself, like that, okay? So you see that? And then you fold it again, like that. Can everyone see that? So you should have here two bits that aren't the end, but you just, you know, they're folded. So you two bits are folded like that to draw on. And then,
So I'll look for it.
yep, and then, this isn't a very good
have
drawing. So then you draw on, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a portrait of you, darling. Anyway, so then but you need to make sure you've got these two bended bits of paper. And then you draw on it, you cut it out, and you should end up, hopefully, one of these.
That's excellent. Very good.
Now, teenagers are also very much a part of our families, and we're going to hear from lots of teenagers in Yorkshire, and they're going to say what's important to them.
I am a child of God.
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 I am a child of God. I am a child of God.
I am a child of God.
I am a child of God.
I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of God.
I am a child of God. I am a child of God.
Oh, God. Yes. I am a child of God. 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 I am
The story which Jesus told about the prodigal son in Luke 15:11-32 is rich in meaning and significance. An account of how a younger son behaves towards his father. A word picture of our relationship with God. Resonates through the years and mirrors the experience of many, both emotionally and physically. And now we're going to listen to a song being sung, Thank You for Saving Me, as we watch the picture of the young hand and the old hand.
Thank you for saving me. What can I say? You are my everything, and I will sing your praise. You shed your blood for me. What can I say? You took my sin and shame, a sinner called by name. Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord. For we know your truth has set us free. You've set your hope in me. Mercy and grace are mine, forgiven is my sin. Jesus, my only hope, the Savior of the world. Great is the Lord, we cry. God, let your kingdom come. Your word has set me free. Thank you for saving me. Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord. For we know your truth has set us free. You've set your hope in me. Thank you for saving me. What can I say?
The effect of the son asking for his inheritance ahead of time, normally passed down once the father has died, was a crushing request. When the father divided the property between the two sons, the younger son turned his share into cash. This would mean that the land the father owned had been split into two, which would have brought a financial blow to the family. The shame that this would bring on the family unit added that to which the son had already brought on the father by asking for his share before the father's death. It was equivalent to saying, I wish you were dead. Such was the utter betrayal. However, the father bears these two blows without recrimination, just as God does not judge us.
And now the second picture of the son with the pigs. In modern Western culture, children routinely leave homes to pursue their fortune in big cities. However, in Jesus' culture, this would be viewed as the younger son abandoning his obligation to care for his father in his old age. When the son reaches the foreign country spending his money on worthless pursuits and finds himself in trouble, his degradation reaches a further low point. For a Jew to have anything to do with pigs is bad enough. For him to be feeding them and eating their food was just unthinkable. And now you're going to listen to another song called Still, as you look at the picture of the father by the wall.
Hide me now under your wings. Cover me within your mighty hand. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. Find rest, my soul, in Christ alone. Know his power in quietness and trust. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storms. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storms. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are God.
Perhaps during this time of the COVID-19 isolation, you've experienced a dramatic life change. A disconcerting new normal has left you in a strange and unfamiliar place, financially, employment-wise, emotionally and physically. As you've listened to this song and seen the Father whose eyes and thoughts were always looking for his Son, how much more then does God search for you? We see in the next picture, the two pictures, the Father running to the Son and then the Father hugging the Son. The realization for the Son of his predicament, how low he has come, and his admission of foolish arrogance marks a turning point in his life. However, the most remarkable character in a whole story is the Father himself. One might even call this the parable of the running father. In a culture where senior figures are far too dignified to run anywhere, This man takes to his heels as soon as he sees his young son dragging himself home. His lavish welcome is, of course, the point of the story. Jesus is explaining why there is a party, why it's something to celebrate when people turn from doing their own thing, going their own way, and return to go God's way. Because the young man's degradation is complete, there can be no question of anything commending him to his father or to any other of the onlookers who would expect this condemnation.
And I'm just going to give a few words from a reflection, and there'll be some background music. We'd like you to take a moment to reflect on the story and the loving actions of the Father, which can perhaps be summed up as, firstly, he released his son to make choices. He protected the rest of his family. He waited patiently for his son's return, and he restored his son.
The Father turns the situation on its head and shows the unfathomable love towards his children. This is the incredible story of how God sees us. Whatever we've done in thought, word or deed, total love and acceptance are ours.
As a final line of the story says, "This, my son, was dead and is alive. He was lost and now is found." Hallelujah. And now I'm going to listen to a lovely duet, His Eye is on the Sparrow, and then we'll have our benediction. Thank you.
Do I feel discouraged? And why do the shadows come?
And why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home?
When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes on the sparrow,
And I know
he watches me. His eyes on the sparrow,
and
I know he watches you
and me.
So I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free, and his eye is on the sparrow,
And I know
he watches me. So I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free, and
and I know He watches, and I know He watches, and I know He
So, let's just share a benediction. Jesus, we thank you that your love for us is unfathomable. It's so extravagant. And as a story, the parable which you told of the prodigal son, that restoration by the Father, may we just take heart from that. And wherever we are, whatever we're doing, wherever we've been, that you are there waiting for us to receive us and welcome us home. So Lord, for all those who are listening this morning, we just ask your blessing on them and their families and their loved ones, particularly those who are struggling during this COVID-19 crisis. We ask this in your name. Amen.
And to finish with, to God, you matter. This has been in the front garden to just remind everybody with what's been going on that you matter. To God, you matter. Thank you.